आय हॅव हॅड द फॉर्च्युनेट वन ऑफ द पीपल जिने समीक्षा वाचलंय. पण ते बुक मला असं वाटतं, की अजूनही इट इज व्हेरी मच अहेड ऑफ इट्स टाईम.
ठाकरेंनी केलं होतं शिर्डीला. पण मला ते बॅन आउट करायला लागलं कारण माझ्यावर खूप ठिकाणी केसेस झाल्या यातल्या मुद्द्यावर. इंदोर, गुवाहाटी, मुंबई, दिल्ली. मी महात्मा गांधीच्या पक्षाचा कधीच नव्हतो. मी भगतसिंगच्या पक्षाचा होतो. तर आज तुम्ही जे आधार कार्ड म्हणताय, आधार कार्ड बघताय, त्यावेळेस मी हा मुद्दा त्यावेळेस तो तो हा विषय कधी कुणाच्या लेखीही नव्हता. तेव्हा मी हा मांडला की 86-88 ला की सर्वसमावेशक कार्ड पाहिजे.
Hi, and welcome to Life in Focus. I'm your host, Dr. Raunaklaxmi Shirsath Talele, and this is a platform which is very close to my heart because we are exploring journeys of healers and clinicians beyond their clinical work or beyond their academic work. And today's guest is very, very special. He is my hero, my inspiration, and my father, Dr. Dilip Shirsath. Welcome, sir. Namaskar. And I wanted to do this with him because just beyond being an orthopedic surgeon and managing a very, very taxing or emergency se bhari hui clinical branch, what he taught us is about some unique qualities, about how to deal in a rural or semi-urban area, how to serve your community, and how to manage in a place where there are very limited resources, especially if you are from a non-medico or non-conventional background. So today we are going to listen to about his story in his words, and also about, in spite of being so busy, how he managed to write the book Samiksha, which gave us a lot of life lessons. So welcome once again, Papa. The first question which I wanted to ask you ki तुमचं background, the rural background, or now which has been turned to semi-urban, and the kind of family we had, you are the first doctor of our family, and there were so many non-conventional things. So how do you manage? Why medicine? Why orthopedics? And then why Shrirampur?
Yes. Look, I belong to a poor farmer's family. We are 7 children to my parents. My dad was one of the brilliant person, but was a farmer, could not manage his educational aims and objects. So he always wanted us to be in education and to be a great figure. So he tried. We out of 7, we are 4 brothers, 3 sisters. Those 3 sisters could not manage, but we all 4 could manage. One of my brother is lawyer, high court lawyer. One of my brother is engineer. One of my brother is master in personal management. And myself, I am an orthopedic surgeon. So this was an educational treat our father could give us, and for that he had to struggle a lot. And being only a farm in a rural remote village somewhere in Ahmednagar district, Kolar Khurd, he had very limited resources and went in cropping for bigger and bigger loans, but he could complete our education. So when actually he tried, he wanted one of us to be a doctor. He tried once in my elder brother, but he could not succeed. Then it was on my head, but he was doing all the time experiments. He used to send me every year in new school, and there he was wanting me to be a first out of comparison, and that I did every year successfully. So because of which he could realize that this fellow will definitely shine. He could see some spark in me. And similar thing happened. I was from Pune SP College. I did, and when I was to the admission stage, that time unfortunately there were 2 batches. One was from matriculation 11th and one was from 10th. And the students' number was doubled and the available seats were the same. So then Chief Minister could raise seats to 800 more, but that also did not suffice. Merit was very high, but I was fortunate enough to rank myself, and I got the letter from government that you have been allowed admission in BJ Medical College Pune. Kindly attend and pay the fees and join. So that was one of the happiest moment in my family. Then, but unfortunately, after starting my education, my family went in bigger losses, bigger loans and other things. So I was helpless. I was not getting help, economical help for me when I was studying. Though there were no mobile phones. There was only letters, but that communication was very late. Telegrams were helping, but of no use to me. So finally, I made myself, wise, and I started working part time when I was doing my education. And that gave, and many of my friends and their families, they also helped me a lot. So that could give me enough courage, workaholicness, and efficiency, so that I could complete my education. Not even I could complete, but I stood fifth in the university. And after that, I got admission. I was getting admission for medicine as well as orthopedic, but I did choose orthopedic, that too with my Padma Vibhushan Dr. K.S. Sancheti sir. And under him, I had a very large experience of working in orthopedic. So that was my journey so far as orthopedic surgeon is concerned. After that, when sir also did notice some spark in me. So he said, Dr. Shirsath, you have to practice in a metro settlement, that too in Mumbai, because that time there was, even today, there was a cold war between orthopedic world, Mumbai orthopedicians, Pune orthopedicians. So he wanted to plant me in Mumbai. And I said, sir, I have very limited resources. How can I do that? Then he said, no, I will be always there to help you, but something has to come from your side also. So you choose a girl who will be from Mumbai. And preferable area will be Kalyan Dombivli, Amarnath, Ulhasnagar. So I did choose my wife, and then everything went happy. But then suddenly after my marriage, when my practice came in vogue, that time her parents and herself, they just reversed the decision. They said, no, we don't want to stay in Kalyan Dombivli. Our daughter wants to go to a rural place and serve there. So that did give me a big shock. And I went to my sir again. And sir said, Dek, you should have confirmed it prior to your marriage. Now you're sailing in a boat now. You can't come back. So do you one thing. You stay with me for 7 to 10 years. Then we'll see. Time is the answer for everything. Then we'll see and we'll find a way out. But that was also not acceptable to my wife, as well as to some extent to me also, because I was knowing the economical background of my family, and so I wanted to earn as early as possible to set right my family. So that's why I was launched in a Kolar again. But Kolar village was very small, so I chose Shrirampur, a nearby town, and then I started practicing there. This was the story.
But in spite of choosing Shrirampur, due to multiple fragments which would have been instrumental in making the decision, but still, did Shrirampur pose a challenge personally?
Yes, it was a big challenge, because as my sir said, you are a person to swim in a big pond, not in a small pond like Shrirampur. But then I noticed to swim in a small pond also is very difficult, because there in a rural place you have to be an all-rounder. All-rounder in a sense of your performance as well as your academics and as well as your orthopedic experience. So I had to learn many things. I had to try out many things. It was very difficult. Limited setup. Work was quite more, but the patients were, they always wanted good results out of that. And being a small town, it was, what we say now, what media does, that is been very easily done. You are good or bad is always exposed instantly. So in limited sources, I started practicing. There was a staff problem, there was machinery problem, hospital problem. If I go on enumerating the problems, list will be too long. But I say that to practice in rural setup is more difficult than to practice in an urban setup.
Okay.
Because there you can get help from other of your colleagues. You don't find colleagues also there. And financial constraints. These are many things. But somehow I was workaholic and calibered orthopedic surgeon. I'm proudly say that, because today I can say, because after 40 years of my experience in rural setup, and giving results and having a number one position there, it do not come as it is. I have worked, I have produced results, and that's why I say कि it's a job of all-rounder.
Okay, but like you said, there were a lot of infrastructure constraints. So then, did it affect the emergency area? Did it rise the need of you being socially active so that there is more acceptance, or you were able to gain trust of patients because of that, because of the social activities?
Look, I had that problem. Many sleepless nights went because of this. But I made an opportunity of my wife's place, Dombivli. I used to come to Mumbai and I used to get an experience with very experienced units like Dr. Dholakia, Dr. Arun Mullaji, Dr. Lad, Ingla Likan, all big hospitals. I used to go there and work in my Saturday, Sunday or some vacation period, and I gained a lot of experience. And as soon as I get some money a resource out of my practice, I used to go for newer things, newer machinery, new expansion. So I kept on doing this tirelessly. And then finally the stage came, today, I am sufficient enough to carry out any orthopedic work in my practice. Because I have that much of machinery, that much of the space, that much of everything. So this definitely posed problems in practice, but I could overcome those problems. And it do not happen with the blessings of God and my Guru. So it went all away well.
And but then orthopedic is not just an elective practice like how we do. So yours is the most emergently active branch when it comes to trauma, specifically trauma in a place like India, where there are already limited resources when it comes to trauma. So those sleepless nights, but then balancing them with social, then economical, and then your urge to learn more. So was it difficult? Did it took a toll on you mentally and emotionally?
Yeah, it was very difficult. But then I tried to find out ways out of that. I used to be in society, I used to be in people. I was in politics also. If you will not believe, but I did contest 7 elections. But being a Kattar Sanatan Hindutavadi, and that time, that era was Congress era, so I could not succeed in any of the elections. But I was with people, and then people were knowing me. And I was managing my political show as well as my hospital show. In my hospital show, one of my friend, Dr. Murade, he did help me too much because he was having thyrotoxicosis and was getting tremors, so he could not operate. But when I was number 1, he was number 2. When I went into join politics to some extent, he became number 1, I was 2. But then whatever patients he was getting, he was asking me to operate on that patient. So my surgical count went on rising, my results went on rising, and that gave me full popularity in both fields. I did not have to look back.
तुम्ही खूप असं फ्रेंड्स बद्दल बोलताय की like now you mentioned Murade uncle. Before that also in Pune you mentioned friends. So how important was friendship and camaraderie for you? Are there, like, to name a few, some stories or some anecdotes you will like to share with us?
There are many stories. If I go on telling them here, this will not be a sufficient period. But really, friends matter much in your life. And friends, I had friends, who were helping me from economical background as well as my mental and social background too. So, and those families also. I always have had a good experience with friendship, and I'll even guide you all to look for that as well. And इतना important है friendship से बहुत सारे problems solve होते हैं. At least तुम mentally accept करने के लिए राजी हो जाते हैं. That's why I'm.
So then friends do shape you.
Yeah.
Okay. So was there any turning point, ऐसा एखादा स्टोरी कि जिसमें ऐसे कुछ हुआ हो कि एक फ्रेंड के वजह से आपने वो डिसीजन चेंज किया और वो आपके लिए बहुत पॉजिटिव टर्न आउट हुआ जो आपने वैसा नहीं किया होता अदरवाइज?
आहे असा एक इन्सिडन्स. कारण मी जेव्हा फायनल MBBS परीक्षेचा एक्झाम देत होतो तेव्हा माझे बॅचमेट सगळे म्हणत होते की म्हणजे असा किस्सा झाला की मी शनिवारी खूप सिरियसली आजारी झालो. स्ट्रँग्युलेटेड हर्निया झाला मला, गँग्रीन ऑल्सो. तर मी खूप सिरियस झालो आणि माझी सोमवारी परीक्षा होती. तर मला मॅडमने, आमच्या जे फेमस मॅडम मेहता मॅडम जनरल सर्जन होत्या, त्यांनी मला ऑपरेशन केलं माझं शनिवारी संध्याकाळी. मी फक्त मॅडमला तेव्हा म्हणलं की मॅडम काय IVs असतील, कारण खूप IVs घ्यायला लागतात, तर तुम्ही लेफ्टलाच द्या फक्त, राईटला काही देऊ नका. मॅडमनी पण ते माझं ऐकलं. हसल्या मॅडम, तुझी अजून परीक्षा द्यायची इच्छा दिसते वाटतं. तर मी काही तसं बोललो नाही, पण मी सिरियसच होतो. तर त्यांनी तसं केलं. पण मग माझं ऑपरेशन झालं आणि रविवारी मग माझे जे आमचा मेडिकल स्टुडंट वॉर्ड होता, म्हणजे स्पेशल वॉर्ड होता, तिथे मला ॲडमिट केलं होतं. आणि रविवारमध्ये पूर्ण मी शुद्धीवर आलेलो होतो चांगला. आणि हे होतो म्हणजे आय वॉज वेल आउटसाईड ऑल्सो, म्हणजे मला बरं वाटत होतं. आणि मग तेव्हाही मित्र आले आणि ह्या मित्रांनी सांगितलं की काय नाही, आपण ट्रायआउट करायचं, तू अभ्यास केलेला आहेस, काय नाही, तू प्रयत्न कर आणि आम्ही तुला नेऊ, स्टेचरवर नेऊ, हे करू, तुझ्यासाठी आम्ही बाहेर थांबू. स्पेशल परमिशन काढली, सगळेजणं 7-8 जण असे बाहेर बाजूला थांबले. आणि मग मी बसलो परीक्षेला. आणि माझं स्वतःचा कॉन्फिडन्स होता, त्यामुळं मी सगळे पेपर दिले. पहिले 2 पेपर मी स्ट्रेचरवर जाऊन दिले, 4 पेपर मी व्हीलचेअरवर जाऊन दिले. आणि असं करूनही मी युनिव्हर्सिटी 5th आलो. आणि या सगळ्याचं विशेष म्हणजे माझ्या फॅमिलीला याचं काहीच माहिती नव्हती. हे सगळंच काही मित्रांनी केलेलं होतं. तर हा एक माझ्या आयुष्यातला टर्निंग पॉईंट का ठरला, तर मी त्या बॅचमध्ये मला हे पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन मिळू शकलं. दुसरी बॅचमध्ये कदाचित मला ते मिळालं नसतं, कारण त्यावेळेस काही प्रायव्हेट कॉलेजेस नव्हते. पेड सीट, अनपेड सीट असा काहीच विषय नव्हता, फक्त मेरिट होतं. मेरिट आणि मेरिट, तिथं दुसरं काहीच इश्यू नव्हतं. त्यामुळे मला त्याचा फायदा झाला. टर्निंग पॉईंट ठरला माझ्या आयुष्यातला.
म्हणजे आय हॅव हॅड द फॉर्च्युनेट वन ऑफ द पीपल जिने समीक्षा वाचलंय. पण ते बुक मला असं वाटतं की अजूनही इट इज व्हेरी मच अहेड ऑफ इट्स टाईम. कारण ते लिहिताना म्हणजे तेव्हा, आता नाऊ इफ यू थिंक ॲज अ प्रॅक्टिशनर देन आय कॅन अंडरस्टँड व्हॉट यू आर ट्राईंग टू सी. पण त्या टाईमला मे बी ते लोकांना समजलं नाही समजलं. तर त्याच्या मागचं इन्स्पिरेशन काय होतं? व्हॉट प्रॉम्प्टेड यू टू राईट दिस बुक?
असं आहे की मी हे समीक्षाचं थिंकिंग जे आहे ते 86-88ला केलं होतं. कारण आता तुम्ही जर ह्या माझ्या पुस्तकावर जर फोटो बघितले, एक महात्मा गांधीचा आहे आणि भगतसिंगचा आहे. मी महात्मा गांधीच्या पक्षाचा कधीच नव्हतो, मी भगतसिंगच्या पक्षाचा होतो. परंतु मला महात्मा गांधीबद्दल आजही आणि माझ्या याच्यापासून आदर काय, तर त्यांच्या त्या काळात प्रोजेक्ट करणं की अहिंसेनी आणि असहकाराने स्वातंत्र्य मिळू शकतं, हे त्या काळात एखाद्या व्यक्तीला खूप अवघड होतं. ते प्रोजेक्शन म्हणजे ती व्हिजन जी आहे, ती व्हिजन त्यांची, त्या व्हिजनची कमालच करावं लागेल, म्हणजे दादच द्यावी लागेल. आणि भगतसिंग वगैरे ही मंडळी सगळी, नेताजी सुभाष बोस वगैरे, हे सगळे दे वर फायटर्स, फ्रीडम फायटर्स सायमल्टेनियसली. तर त्यामुळं ह्या दोन्हींच्या विचारांनी माझ्या मनात स्वातंत्र्यानंतर जवळजवळ 50 वर्ष होऊन गेल्यानंतर देशाची जी दुरावस्था आता प्रॅक्टिसमध्ये आल्यानंतर मी बघायला लागलो. आणि म्हणून माझ्या मनात थिंकिंग चालू झालं. आणि त्या थिंकिंगच्या अन्वये मी हे माझे जे विचार आहेत ते मांडलेले आहेत. पण ते विचार त्या काळात ते खूपच रिव्होल्युशनरी होते. उदाहरणार्थ आज तुम्ही जे आधार कार्ड म्हणताय, आधार कार्ड बघता, त्यावेळेस मी हा मुद्दा, त्यावेळेस तो हा विषय कधी कुणाच्या लेखीही नव्हता, तेव्हा मी हा मांडला की 86-88ला की सर्वसमावेशक कार्ड पाहिजे, ज्याच्यामध्ये त्या माणसाचे सर्व डिटेल्स आणि कोडिंग करून त्याचे पार बँक, प्रॉपर्टी, सगळ्या गोष्टी त्यात आल्या पाहिजे, हे त्यावेळेस मांडलेलं मी. किंवा लोकसंख्या नियंत्रण, सर्व धर्मांना सारख्याच प्रकारे लोकसंख्या नियंत्रण ठेवलं पाहिजे आणि ज्याच्यासाठी काही सक्ती किंवा अशी न करता त्याच्यासाठी काही रूल्स रेग्युलेशन, किंवा आज जे गव्हर्नमेंट शेकडो योजना देतं, त्या योजनांचे बेनिफिट विशिष्ट लोकांनाच मिळतील, विशिष्टांना मिळणार नाही, अशा स्वरूपात मी ते लोकसंख्या नियंत्रणचा मुद्दा मांडला होता. तपशिलात मी आता जात नाही कारण डिटेल खूप आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. तिसरा माझा मुद्दा असा होता की मतदान हा शब्द मला अजिबात आजही मान्य नाही. माझ्या दृष्टीने प्रत्येक हिंदूच, आपल्या भारतमध्ये राहणाऱ्या प्रत्येक नागरिकाला लोकशाही टिकवायची असेल तर मतदान हा विषय नाही आहे, हा मतदेय आदेश आहे. तुम्हाला आदेशाने मतदान केलंच पाहिजे. हा आदेश आहे आणि तुम्ही तो आदेश पाळला, 100% वोटिंग झालं तरच तुम्ही निकोप लोकशाही राखू शकता. तर त्यामुळे हा एक मुद्दा हे होता. आणि त्याच्यानंतर माझा असे बरेच मुद्दे, पण रिझर्वेशनच्या बाबतीत माझा मुद्दा होता की रिझर्वेशन हे शैक्षणिक याच्यामध्ये नाही असलं पाहिजे. तुम्ही नंतर पूर्ण रिझर्वेशन द्या, पण शैक्षणिक कॅलिबर जे आहे ते निर्माण होण्यासाठी शिक्षणात नको, तो रादर तुम्ही शिक्षण फ्री द्या, तुम्ही तिथे बजेट तुमचं खर्च करा, असा त्याच्यामध्ये मुद्दा होता. आणि माझं शिक्षण पद्धती जी ब्रिटिशांनी घालून दिली ती मला मान्य नव्हती, ती अमान्य होती. माझं म्हणणं आहे की व्यवसायाभिमुख शिक्षण पाहिजे. म्हणजे 10वी-12वी नंतर प्रत्येकाने त्या व्यवसायाचं शिक्षण घ्यायला पाहिजे. म्हणजे उदाहरणार्थ सांगायचं झालं तर मला आजचे जे राजकारणी आहेत हे वेगवेगळ्या म्हणजे अशिक्षित सुद्धा राजकारणी आहेत, अंगठा बहाद्दर सुद्धा आहेत, हे मला मान्य नाही आहे. माझं म्हणणं असं आहे की त्यांना सुद्धा एक व्यवसायाभिमुख शिक्षण पाहिजे होतं, पॉलिटिकल सायन्स आणि इन्फॉर्मेशन टेक्नॉलॉजी. कारण तशी जर त्यांनी शिक्षण घेतलं तर ते बेटर सर्व्हिस देशाला देऊ शकले असते. आज जे आपण जो भ्रष्टाचाराबद्दल पण मी याच्यामध्ये मुद्दा जो खूपच गाजला. कारण मी हे गाजला का म्हणतो तर हे मी एक वृत्तसंग्राम नावाचा पहिलं साप्ताहिक चालवत होतो आणि त्याच्यामध्ये हे विचार मांडायचो तर खूप कल्लोळ व्हायला लागला आमच्या जिल्ह्यामध्ये. मग मी ते पुस्तकात मांडले. मग ह्या पुस्तकात सुद्धा ॲक्च्युली या पुस्तकाचं प्रकाशन माझे हिंदू सम्राट स्वर्गीय बाळासाहेब ठाकरेंनी केलं होतं शिर्डीला, पण मला ते बॅन आउट करायला लागलं. कारण माझ्यावर खूप ठिकाणी केसेस झाल्या यातल्या मुद्द्यावर, इंदोर, गुवाहाटी, मुंबई, दिल्ली, बेंगलोर, अशा ज्या मला माझी प्रॅक्टिस करताना ते मला शक्य नव्हतं. मग माझे जे काही पॉलिटिकल महागुरू आहेत स्वर्गीय पद्मभूषण बाळासाहेब विखे पाटील, मग त्यांनी मला यातून वाचवलं म्हणजे वाचवताना त्यांनी मला सांगितलं की बॅन आउट दिस बुक. त्यामुळं हे पुस्तक प्रकाशनातून काढून घ्यावं लागलं आणि मग माझं पुढचं लाईफ सुकर झालं. या समीक्षा या शब्दाचा अर्थच असा आहे की मी असे खूप मुद्दे घेतलेले आहेत की त्यातले आज बरेच लागू झाले ना. म्हणजे आधार कार्ड लागू झालं, नंतर त्या आधार कार्डला तुमचं डिजिलॉकर चालू झालं, किंवा तुमचं आज लोकसंख्येच्यासाठी 2 मुलांनाच असं अपत्य असतील तरच इलेक्शनला उभं राहता येईल हे झालं. पण अजून त्या मी भ्रष्टाचाराच्या बाबतीत पण लिहिलं होतं मॅडम की भ्रष्टाचार हा हिंदू माणसाच्या स्वभावात आहे, जन्मजात आहे, हा जाणार नाही. हे घालवण्याचा तुम्ही प्रयत्नही करू नका. त्याच्यापेक्षा याला एक लिमिट द्या. म्हणजे भ्रष्टाचार कुठल्या बाबतीत किती टक्के कुठपर्यंत करावं याला एक लिमिट द्या. आणि ते पॉसिबल आहे. कारण उदाहरणार्थ बहुत एखाद्या तलाट्याकडनं तुम्हाला उतारा काढायचा आहे आणि प्रॉपर्टी कार्ड काढायचं, समजा तो 1000 रुपये घेत असेल किंवा नॉर्मली, तर तिथपर्यंत ठीक आहे ना. पण एखाद्याने मोठा दिसतोय कारमधनं आलाय म्हणून डायरेक्ट 1 लाख रुपये मागितले तर ते नाही आहे, अलाउड नाही, तसं नाही व्हायला पाहिजे, आज होतंय. मग त्याच्यासाठी मी असा मुद्दा मांडला होता की कुणीही ॲफिडेव्हिटच्या आधारे आणि 2 साक्षीदाराच्या आधारे त्या व्यवहाराच्या पुराव्याने कुणीही जर न्यायालयाकडे तक्रार केली तर ते काही चौकशी वगैरे न होता संबंधित अधिकाऱ्याला लगेच निलंबन आणि आफ्टर निलंबन बदली. मग काही चौकशी झालीच नाही पाहिजे त्याची, कारण चौकशीनंच सगळे मुद्दे बिघडतात आणि ती चौकशी काही खरी होत नाही आणि ते खोटं ठरवलं जातं, करायचीच गरज नाही ती. अशा अनेक पद्धती आहेत की ज्या मी म्हणजे त्या थोड्या रॅश वाटत होत्या त्या काळात, काँग्रेसच्या काळामध्ये, आणि म्हणून मला हे सगळं फेस करावं लागलं. पण समीक्षा हे माझं खरंच एक असं आहे की ज्यानं माझं जीवन खूप बदलवलं. मी सगळ्याच स्तरामध्ये वागायला लागल्यानंतर मला जे काय अनुभव आले त्याच्या आधारे मी हे पुस्तक लिहिलेलं आहे आणि मी आजही त्या पुस्तकाच्या बरोबर आहे. जरी मला ते प्रकाशित करता नाही आलं तरी मी त्याच्या बरोबर आहे.
पण मग डू यू विश की ते थोडं रिराईट करून, रिवाइज करून, रिपब्लिश करायला पाहिजे?
I do wish, but now I am, quite old, and somehow I personally feel कि okay यार, बस हो गया. That's my feeling today. Otherwise, I still have enough eager and I can do many things. But it's okay. I'm happy as on today because you all are there now. I have a daughter like you, having the same spark as I was having. So I'm happy. I should stop somewhere.
So, coming to Papa doctors generally, I don't know about our generation. Maybe our generation is reading so much or so much of information is available on social media ki shares मध्ये invest करा or invest in the SIPs, do this, do that, do mutual funds. But the generational doctors which belong to yours or a little bit ahead of ours did not have any financial advices. They landed up in debts because personally for doctors buying the equipments and constructing an infrastructure is not as easy as it looks to the general media. So what do you feel ki are there some steps the newer generation should take before only to avoid all this?
Well, newer generation, those who pass out from some specialty, actually my first advice to them will be, you either do a corporate practice. That means not I am saying corporate setup, I am saying few of you come together and then start practice, or otherwise you practice in a urban setup, metro setup. To go in a village or rural setup is not all that easy, and it's not a job of common surgeon or physician. It's a job of all-rounder, and everybody is not all-rounder all the time. So I will first advise that you practice in a metro or club yourself with few of your friends and then do practice. This is one. Secondly, I will advise that you first, as soon as you gain earning, you first invest in the nearby premise to you, because you first think of upgrading your setup in all respect, even FSI wise, machinery wise, advance wise, and everything. So you keep on upgrading, and for that upgradation you keep on investing. Once you reach some stage wherein you feel that now it's a good upgradation, henceforth I need not do, then you start investing in these things like SIPs, mutual funds and shares and all those things. But shares in our era was much better. Nowadays it may not be that lucrative.
Okay.
Because that time, if I bought, suppose I have bought a share of HDFC Bank, maybe 10 rupees IPO, 5,000 shares. Now that has cropped up 4,000%. So that is now giving me in crores and so this is a difference of time.
Okay.
Now hence onward, probably shares and gold will not be of that much use. That is what I feel. But on top of all that, you should have liquid cash of at least 1 CR with you for your health or for your someone's health. That is must, because nowadays though there are many yojnas and all those things, but you may need more. You have seen Corona episode.
Yes.
You need lot of money, and then that time no one comes to help you.
Yeah.
So you should have some liquid cash with you, and then these all investments.
Okay. And any advice to the younger generation of orthopedists, the new Gen Z doctors which we are saying? Most importantly, are they even what qualities or skills they should inculcate?
For orthopedic world, from where I am now, I feel that every orthopedic surgeon should concentrate to one super specialty. Like suppose I am doing plasty, so I should be a plasty surgeon, scopy, arthroscopist, spine surgeon, foot and ankle surgeon, like that. Because if you are practicing in your own setup, then you have to know all these things.
Okay.
But if you are practicing in an urban setup or in a club corporate setup, then you should concentrate to one pathy, one specialty. So wherein, suppose I am a plasty surgeon, I will be doing only plasties. And so in that I gain too much of knowledge and advance, and then I keep on gaining money else. That becomes better than just lingering in all pathies.
Okay.
All, not pathy I am saying, all specialties.
Okay.
But our era was, it was a common junk. I had to operate on spine, I had to do plasties, I had to do foot and ankle surgery, I had to do plastic surgery, I had to do neurosurgery and trauma and everything. I have had no options that time. But now my upcoming orthopedic surgeons, as I am a professor in medical college, I know. I always guide my MS students, okay, go ahead and be in a one specialty so that you can definitely be better in that specialty.
Now there is this segment of our podcast in which we take it to a lighter note. And in this, we are going to ask you rapid fire questions. Don't think much, just tell the first thing that comes to your mind. So, plate or nail, one favorite thing.
Both. Orthopedic cannot be without both.
The longest surgery in terms of hours.
I had to operate on spine, which was, neuro. I had to excise the tumor. There was a dural tear, and I had to repair that. I had to decompress. I had to fuse. I had to fix. Whole night I was operating. That was the longest surgery on spine. That is like can quote.
One thing which you carry when you change into your scrubs in the OT.
My cap mask and my dress, sterile dress.
Okay. If not an orthopedician, which specialty you would have chosen?
I would have been administrative services because as a brilliant student, I can say that I would have passed IAS exam and I could have been in administration.
Most memorable request by a patient, maybe funny or maybe too much unusual.
डॉक्टर साहेब मला 100% बरं वाटेल का, मी 100% बरी होईल का, म्हणजे हेच सगळंच 100%. त्याच्या खाली 1%ही त्यांना चालत नाही. हे फनी आहे, असं काही ऑर्थोपेडिक मध्ये होत नाही.
This is not a rapid fire question, but a little bit of deviation. I have used and heard the word PSY mostly from orthopedic surgeons. So why is it coined?
PSY is psychological overhanging on that patient. Now you come across many females, they have backache or they have some X here and there like in the back, and those are most of the time that lady has to work more, or that lady is in a family setup wherein someone is unnecessarily bombarding many issues over her. So psychological deviation can cause these X.
Okay.
That's why when we examine the patient, I'm not speaking only about a lady, there are quite a number of males as well. But once you examine and if you don't find any objective finding and symptoms are gross and there is no objective finding, so in that case it comes to a PSY overlay.
Okay.
Meaning thereby psychological overlay.
And what is your favorite thing to relax after a long shift? Cha, coffee, just rest, or to write or to watch something?
No, rest and yoga.
One surgical instrument you feel is the one you cannot live without?
Scalpel blade. I have to cut, then start.
One myth which people believe will improve their bone health but actually does nothing.
Myth is really, it's a big myth that if I take calcium tablets I should be alright. It's not that. Whatever you take from oral way, that has to go in a circulation, and from circulation it has to go to bone, and bones are like depots. You have seen depots, big
Yeah.
in that depot, if there is good amount of an 80-90% goods in that depot does not accept any whatever amount of good comes from outside.
Okay.
If that is vacant, then they accept it. So bone the metabolism is like that. It has to be accepted,
Okay.
and that normally and all the time do not accept. So मैं कैल्शियम खाई तो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, ये मिथ है.
Any local custom or miracle which you think had influenced the patient healing? Any miracle you have faced in your local setup?
Wound healing mostly. Whatever wounds, if you leave them open and good hyperbaric situation, not hyperbaric exactly, but good oxygen, good room, and if you leave that wound open, usually heals faster.
It is faster than a covered wound.
Than a covered.
And
Especially on facial-maxillary wounds.
then any one word which you can use to describe your purpose?
My affection, my love, and my passion towards my daughter. Everybody should be knowledgeable, sincere, workaholic, and honest to the society and to his or her work.
So thank you. Thank you, Papa, for coming on Life in Focus today. And most importantly, I don't want to thank you for just coming over here because I called you. Thank you for actually passionately sharing what those stories, or like how we see a picture, but actually the story behind the journey or behind the man we know. And also there were many important nuggets, like about how you can socially build up yourself, how you can financially develop, or how your country as a whole matters when you are a doctor or you are a social person. And to our listeners, thank you for being so patient, thank you for being with us, and I hope the young doctors have many nuggets they have taken from today's talk. And if you want to ask any questions, please drop in the comments, and until next time, keep in focus. Thank you.